Hello Pisces, and welcome to your monthly forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be taking a look at the month of November. You can always use this for Sun, Rising Moon, and Venus. It's great to see everybody. Thanks for joining. I like to begin all of my readings with channeled messages, then we'll get into the cards. Today the channeled messages came from meditation, and what I was picking up on in meditation was possibilities. I saw a skeleton key which can basically open all of the doors in any given house, especially like an old-fashioned house. And this is a chance for you to move beyond a perceived block or limitation. In this particular card, I featured the Hierophant from the Wild Unknown deck. And the reason that I love it, of course, is because it's carrying the skeleton key, but it also represents this entrepreneurial spirit. That's the second to last bullet. So if there's a will, there's a way. And if someone in front of you lacks the imagination or just the patience or support to help you through something, this card is reminding you that you really don't need that anymore. You've moved beyond that. You're the gatekeeper. You're the key. You're the one that holds the passion, the potential, the leadership, all of that stuff. One thing that we can take from this is it's time to get organized. It's time to get started. And I also see this as highly inspirational. So if any door was locked for you before, maybe you applied to a college or a job, or you tried to find something that just didn't quite connect in the past, it's really a good time now, as we're in this latter part of the year, to give it a second shot, to go at it now with a sense of patience and knowledge, and also knowing that, you know what, I already went through that quote unquote worst case scenario, which was the rejection. Now it's just potential. Now I can, if that doesn't work, then I'll make something work. And this is where you're also not just like the skeleton key, but like the locksmith. So if you see that there is something that you really are passionate about and you want to make it happen, then you can create your own door, your own key, and be the leader here if you want to. So to me, this is just a really positive symbol, okay? There is, of course, a couple of other things that I didn't even put in here. One is, if there's something that you want to make sure that you're locking down, like intellectual property or anything legal, you could work with a professional there. There may also be someone that is a connector for you, where maybe they're sort of like translating, interpreting, or something like that, and they can help unlock some understanding or potential as well. But mostly I was seeing you as being that key person, and I hope that helps. And as we take a look here at the cards here in just a moment, we're going to focus on things like how to get past blocks, where you might be able to start something new, how and where a gatekeeper might exist, and if you really need to worry about them, or if there's a will and a way around that as well. All right, everybody, let's go ahead now, give the cards a shuffle, and see what messages are coming through. Again, just a reminder here, you can use this for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus, really any placement of your chart. We will focus a little bit on Sun, Rising, and Moon later, so do stick around for that, please. All right, let me be quiet here and just observe the cards and see what messages Spirit wants you to focus on. All right, what a beautiful spread here. We're going to begin with the catalyst energy first and foremost. And we have the beautiful wood sheep here, and it says, nature is your healer. To me, this is really speaking volumes about getting into a better environment. This could be the place in which you live, work, or just the place that you're occupying the most time and space. And we can see here how, if you're in a place where there's a lot of growth, a lot of support, a lot of movement, it inspires you. If you're in an environment like a workplace where there's low morale, there's a lot of, cutthroat competition, and it's just not really supportive, sometimes that can do the reverse, which kind of sends you into, being a wallflower or trying to kind of just protect yourself by not connecting too much or pushing yourself too much. So take a look and feel the space out that you're in right now and think, does this lift me up, or does this sort of mute or dampen my energy? A change of environment or scenery could help as well. Getting outside, depending on your weather, could also be very advantageous. If you're overdue for a holiday or a vacation, all of these sort of elements are coming through. Now, if we take that out of it, we have the heart space being highlighted here. So this is also about making sure that you're giving yourself the space, both figurative and literal, to do the necessary healing so that you have what it takes to embrace future opportunities. Whenever I see a sheep as well, there's a chance to think to yourself, am I leading, am I following? So we'll look at the sort of challenges that might be coming through in both of those areas and see, is there good leadership where you're at? Is there a chance for you to lead, etc.? Let's just pause for a second and look at the Celtic Cross here. And it was interesting to see a couple of synchronicities. We have the Awakening card, which is Judgment. I talked about that. This is a person looking through a keyhole in this particular deck. We have a rebirth symbol coming through twice. It's upside down twice. So you might feel like your world is a little bit topsy-turvy, and we're going to try to help you out with that. It could also just mean that changes are happening lickety-split. There's a lot of stuff that is just kind of requiring you to land on your feet and go with the flow. Let's just do it card by card and not get too far ahead of ourselves. We're going to start off with your centermost card, the Five of Wands. By far, this is one of my favorite illustrations, especially when you compare it to the traditional one. So you'll see here in this traditional illustration that people are struggling, pushing, not necessarily making a lot of progress. Whereas in this new version, there are two birds here working together, hopefully creating this beautiful nest. That's how I'm interpreting this. So this is a chance for you to find common ground, to find a way to work together. And crossing this card was the star. So you may emerge as a leader within a team. You may also just show up as being someone that people can really depend upon. And this is what star potential really is all about, because it's not always about being in the spotlight, being the one that gets the attention. It's coming through with a solution, helping someone out when they need it most, keeping the greater good sort of in the main focus here. And invariably, people just look at you and they're like, yeah, but that person, let's put them in a position of leadership. So being a great team player and being a great support to others, it will pay off this month. And that's what we're really seeing here, is that opportunity to rise up and shine. Not even because of this normal competitive vibe that you would see here, but because of the reverse, that you're actually finding harmony, support, and that is a sign of a good leader. Now let's just lean into the energy of the star a little bit. The star is a chance for you to walk further upon a path that really calls to you. And it's the universe coming through saying, this is your moment. If not now, then when? Basically, no more procrastination. And it's also encouraging you to go higher than what you expected. See how she's reaching for the star. So in life, usually we're pushed down a little bit. People will say, don't speak up, or that's not going to happen, or you're not this enough or that enough. I'm here today to basically deprogram that, undo that, and help you reach a little higher, go for that stretch goal to really make sure that you are aligned to what it is that makes you happy. And to get beyond the traditional Five of Wands energy, which is sometimes just clocking in and clocking out, whether it's a job or relationship or any habit or activity in your life, and it's like not really serving the higher purpose anymore. So moving beyond those cycles, moving beyond those old sort of stubborn ways, and looking instead at something that is of a higher value or higher calling. This is also a spiritual awakening card, so some of you may be leaning a little bit more into meditation, spiritual development, yoga, anything that's creating that sense of connecting to source, and that's really what this is about. If you are someone in a public spotlight, so This could be someone who is working in marketing, an actor or actress, someone that's singing, someone that's trying to get their voice or their ideas or something out there. The star is an advantageous one. Even for small business, this is just saying that it's one of the ultimate magnet cards. This is a chance for you to be noticed, okay? So let's look in the deep past and see if there's anything karmically that could be either helping or hindering this. You receive the Six of Swords in reverse. In the upright position, it's pretty positive. It shows that this is a time for movement, for change, for transformation, for release. When the card is in the reverse state, sometimes it is just an indication that there's something that's overdue. So if you've been dragging your feet, now is the time to make the change. There could also be something that is coming through and it's surprising at the speed with which it's happening. So basically, someone will call you up and you've been wanting maybe an opportunity, but instead of having weeks or months, you'll have days or hours to sort of rise to the occasion. If we go back to the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, we see someone rowing the boat and someone as a passenger. This goes back to what we were talking about with the wood sheep. Are you leading or following? And this is really what the universe wants to know. Even the top card kind of looks like an hourglass. And so I really feel like timelines are to a degree within your sort of reach or control. And you can decide, do I want to do this now or am I going to procrastinate and push this off? So if you're ready, the door is opening, and we've got that here with the World and also with Judgment. We'll talk about this in just a second, but I want to look at this card first. And this is your recent past. It's the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It's a change of fortune, and it can be a change of fortune for the better. But some of you may also be looking at your old investments because it's in the past, it's upside down, and there could be sort of this thought of, could I have spent my time and energy more wisely? I think that's always good from time to time to audit. It's not going to impede you because of the positioning here. She's basically reviewing the wheel to decide, what do I want to do next? How can I work smarter and better? And also, how can I make sure that I'm getting my worth, my value, whenever it comes to new relationships, new job opportunities, new sort of connections. And that's one of the big things that you can do this month is advocate, negotiate, speak up, really make sure that you're on equal terms. It's all balanced and it's reciprocating your energy basically, okay? Now let's get to some of the exciting stuff here. You've got a lot of travel cards as I'm looking at all of this here. So the Six of Swords is movement. The World is expansion. The Ten of Wands is also travel and movement. And the Awakening card, which is really Judgment, is also rising above. So all of these are different forms of travel, and some of them are even forms of healing and release. The Six of Swords happens after you release a person, place, or thing in your life. It can be on the heels of divorce. It can be on the heels of loss of someone that you love, quitting a job. Same thing with Awakening or the Judgment card, because it's usually a soul rising up. So this is that gentle movement that happens. But with so many movement cards, you could also be juggling a lot this month. So we'll look more into that in just a second. But I wanted to highlight that movement is the common theme here. The World card. This particular illustration is so nicely connected to the channeled messages. It looks like someone's looking through the viewport of a door or maybe through the keyhole. And we can also see that they're on the precipice of seeing something new. There are two cards here. This is the ultimate card in the Major Arcana, number 21, and this is number 20. This is Judgment. So we've got the World and Judgment. I pulled the traditional ones here just for comparison. This is basically saying elevate your thoughts, expand your thoughts. Don't put an unnecessary box on things. The sky is the limit. So that's kind of where you want your thought process to be. In the environment, there could also be someone around you who is judgmental, who is kind of locked in. And because this is a card of rising up above this, you can move beyond that person. I talked about a gatekeeper. It could be someone around you. You're already one step ahead, literally in the Major Arcana, from someone else. And this is your chance to awaken to the call. There is an angel on this card, so it's there to protect you even if you have to move beyond that. This is also about finding and kind of exercising your own wings. So with the World card at the crowning position, this is also saying look beyond existing things around you, existing systems. So if you're looking for a place to live, it could be in a different city, state, or province. If you're looking for a different job, same thing. If there's someone coming into your life, they may be coming from a different part of the world or having a very different background or personality. This is going to help you see things from a different perspective. You're on the precipice of a rebirth. And again, we've got 2 baby cards. I'm using wildly different decks with almost identical illustrations, and both of the babies are upside down. And so for some of you, it is that feeling also when you are being born of just sort of like, got to take a deep breath. Oh my gosh, here we go again. And knowing on some level, just like we've been reborn in many lifetimes, it'll be all right. So give yourself time to adjust, to change. I think that's really the key thing as I'm tying together this, which is, by the way, in wealth. So we have a change of fortune. We have you looking at this opportunity, and then we have it right here as well. So the question is, are you ready to take that step? Are you ready to take it on? The World card invariably is very, very positive. It's the end of the journey of the major arcana, and all you have to really be here is yourself. So that's why we see someone here without clothes, and we see kind of floating up in the sky. It's just basically them, just like the star, being their authentic selves. All right, so what's coming between all of this? What's the next step? Well, some of it is just fatigue. The 10 of Wands is good because it shows you accomplishing what you set out to accomplish. But those final steps of any process can sometimes be where doubt, where fatigue, where uncertainty sets in, and there's no room for that right now. So if you're feeling any of that, lean on someone that can support you, that can cheer you on. That's why when you see people that are racing, it's good to have friends and family towards the finish line. You need that support at that period. This can be a move. This can be travel for work. I would be surprised this month if there isn't some sort of movement or travel opportunities, and there may be multiple parts of your life where you feel like, oh, I got to go over here and do this. I got to meet that person over there. So just take a deep breath, manage what you can, really try to get organized. Because if you remember at the very beginning when I had the skeleton key, the last thing that I put on that bullet was to get organized and to take some action. So we can see why it's important to do a little bit of both here. You've got this, okay? It's worth getting to the finish line. As we look at how you're showing up this month, it's the 5 of Pentacles. Let's highlight the traditional card for a second because I think it does a good job of showing everything to be mindful of. So 5 of Pentacles can represent a feeling of sometimes being on the outside. Remember what I said earlier, if you're having a hard time breaking through some sort of a barrier, whether it's a group of people or there's a gatekeeper that just doesn't get it, this is a chance to realize that you value yourself and your path more than the approval or the connection to that person that's blocking you. So this is about really leaning into self-confidence and trusting yourself. There could have been someone in the past, a parent, a leader, a mentor that came in and basically created this sense of doubt, but you're going to look at this reading hopefully today and remember, no, I've got this. You're right, Nicholas, I can do this. Anything that is involving finances where you are underpaid, underappreciated, or not supported, this is a month where you really want to change things. Remember, we had the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. She's looking at those past things and she's thinking it's not worth it. There is support. This is a little different from the traditional card where the two people are looking away from each other, not connecting. We also see an open door here. There always is this sort of sanctuary behind them, but in this one, we actually see someone opening the door and beckoning them in. So things are changing this time around. So you have a chance now to say, I don't have to do this all on my own. You know, I'm going to finish what I set out to do, but if I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm going to ask for help. If I'm feeling run down, because sometimes you can just get sick from working too hard and not getting enough support, you don't have to do it. You're going to stop it before it happens and say, you know what, I think we have a common interest here. I need some support. I'm going to give this to you. I'm going to focus on this. Keep me posted, and you can delegate. So ask for more money, time, energy, support if you need it. Delegate, say no. Take care of yourself. One thing to be mindful of for those of you that are in colder climates right now, even if it's a warmer climate, because this can just represent slippery ground, is just to make sure that you watch where you're walking. And particularly now when we're always looking at our watches or our phones or devices, put them down when you're walking, definitely when you're driving. Make sure that if you're operating machinery or trying to just walk, that you're focusing on the path in front of you. Okay. So one last thing with this, it's just healing wounds from the past. A lot of times this can be parent and child, but it can also be sibling. So if there's anything here where you feel like you need to kind of clear the air, this is a perfect time to do that. Because it's all up from here. As you saw earlier when I was pulling up the judgment card, we have the angel, we have the souls rising up. We see here that you're actually kind of finding your wings. You're getting ready to spread your wings, but it takes a second. It takes a second to basically get used to maybe that for the first time in a while, you might be on your own too. So for those of you that are finding yourself, getting out of a relationship or having lost someone, the wings are there, the support is there, both from spirit, but also from within. And so this is just the universe giving you a vote of confidence. The important thing, however, and this is why it's right above the Five of Pentacles, is that you believe in yourself. I can't make you do that. The universe can't make you do that. But what I can see here is expansion, star power, completion. And basically, these are all really good things here. Okay, let's move on to also one other thing with the awakening card here. For those of you maybe that have been trying to figure out what your next step is, this is saying take some time to meditate, to explore some different things that you haven't done before. And you may find that there's something that was unexpected. And it can happen at any step of life, whether you're a student or retired, it doesn't matter, anywhere in between. You could have this epiphany or this awakening, and it's giving you a second chance for something really big to happen. Now we're getting into the exciting card here in Hope, Spheres, and Opportunity. We have the Queen of Wands. She's reversed, but let's just take in the beauty of this card in the upright position. So we see her in front of a fire here, and she's connecting with the fires, being the Queen of Fire. And we also see her third eye just lighting up there. And so this is a chance for you to be as imaginative, as sort of leaning into your dreams and hopes and all of the things that kind of create this, your imagination, all the stuff here in the crown chakra. This is your chance. That's the true crown, is your ideas, your mind. I would love for you to trust all of that this month. Trust in your ideas, trust in your dreams, let them take flight, and stand behind them. She's pretty stubborn, the Queen of Wands in reverse. It can be her biggest strength. It can also be her biggest challenge. So we'll talk about that. The strength is, of all the people that you could meet in the court cards, the Queen of Wands in reverse is someone that could lead an army if she needed to. And she'll stand tall. She'll get out there in the front lines if she has to. However, sometimes she is so kind of rigid in how she expects something to be done or to arrive in manifestation that she might miss an opportunity. And it's so appropriate that we actually have that coming through the Four of Cups. So you can see it here. It's even clearer when we pull out the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card. There's sometimes boredom. There's sometimes the stubbornness or closed-mindedness. And then you miss that floating ace that I was talking about right here. The other thing here is there could be an unexpected partnership that's coming in. And some of you, this is one of the most controlling cards or independent cards, may think to yourself, I can do this all on my own. Maybe you can. Maybe there's a chance, though, to delegate so that you can get that higher view, the world view. So don't be afraid to explore partnerships or to explore releasing some things, because good leaders don't have to do everything. So stay open. There's a completely different read for some of you out there that are basically just looking at what others are doing and thinking, why don't I have that yet? I'm deserving of this. And this is a reminder that the grass always looks greener on the other side, that you never really know what someone else is going through. And it's an invitation to focus on you, your potential, what you can control, and also to focus on what might be coming through. Again, that ace floating right in front of you, where there could be a chance to get further, farther, faster if you just look beyond the expectations. So when manifesting, you can say all of this or greater for the highest good. That way the universe is going to potentially give you an upgrade. And then you can even put in your prayer and intention and allow me to see these opportunities for all they're worth. So insert what it is that you're trying to manifest and say, please, I am ready to receive this or something greater in the highest good, and please help me recognize it when it comes along. All right, so that'll help you get beyond the Four of Cups. I'm always here to empower and inform. I will read the cards for what they are, but I also try to help you walk away feeling that sense of empowerment. Let's go ahead now and dig a little deeper into the areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to begin with health and well-being. Looking at the oracle card associated with health and well-being, it's really relationships that are coming through first and foremost. And for some of you, it could be the environment that I was talking about a little bit earlier, where you just feel like, I don't trust this person or this place. I need to move beyond it. The conflict and the defeat. So the conflict, I have to go back to the traditional Five of Wands because it doesn't exist here as we're looking at it, which is a good thing. So here's the traditional Five of Wands. This can be conflict. This can be competition. It can also be that feeling of feeling defeated because you just keep spinning your wheels. So when this sort of energy exists, it's good to take a step back. It's good to find your inner light and maybe see if in that group of Five of Wands, there isn't someone else who shares a common interest in what you're trying to achieve. You don't need all 5 people to agree, just one other person. And that could be that partnership. And it might be a hard sell for both of you, but when that happens, then things really start to expand in the right direction and you can turn a new corner. It might be time to just leave. I mean, this person looks like they're running away from that, and I don't blame them. We've all been in situations where you think, I don't need the drama. I don't want to deal with this sort of this tension anymore. And I completely support you doing what's healthiest. We are looking in health after all. So if you're in a situation where there's a lot of conflict and a lot of defeat, then it's time to move in a place where you feel supported. And I try to get past that energy of failure or defeat. You're not going to be defeated as long as you're learning. And if someone makes you feel that way, then that's a clear red flag that it's time to go in a different direction. All right, now let's just look at what might be popping up in the arena of health. Standard disclaimers applying here. Okay, the 10 of Wands is basically making sure that, and it's nicely illustrated here, that you're not taking on too much. It could be taking on too much emotionally. It could also be physically. So if you're moving like from one location to another, don't do all the heavy lifting. If you're in a relationship where things are really stressful for you and or your partner, you don't have to be the therapist. You just have to be the partner here. So don't take on more than you have to. Make sure that you're saving some energy for the final leg of the journey, okay? Really important. As someone who used to be a perfectionist myself, I still have to sometimes just be happy with what I've got and not worry about it and say, this is all I can do today, okay? I understand for those of you that also want to always get an A+. It's not always feasible. That's not the reason we came to the planet. If there is a need, some of you might be traveling too much, by the way. So travel, and movement. So it might be time to just slow down a little bit. We see the meditation in the Queen of Wands. Absolutely. Okay. Some of you had a close brush with a health issue, and it feels like it's moving in the right direction, but you still need time. So give yourself time to get grounded. And the Judgment card is not about going back. It's basically a new normal. It's a wake-up call to live differently and live the best version of yourself and best version of your life that you can right now. And it's on the heels, literally here, of the Five of Pentacles, which can have to do with your heels, but it's also saying healing takes time. You're getting there. There's so much beautiful stuff on the horizon that you don't want to lose track of that. But healing, emotional healing is really important. Physical healing is important. And living a healthier lifestyle is important. And clearing out some of your environmental stuff, especially if it is just contentious relationships, that's maybe the main focus for some of you. I think those are the key things that I want to look at with respect to health. So now let's move on to wealth, finance, life purpose. This is such a beautiful energy here. It says new life. And again, it did come through in the reverse state. It just to me is indicating for some of you, things could be happening faster than expected. But look at the synchronistic sort of energy here. We got 2 babies, both of these in the reverse state. Again, faster than expected. There could be twinning energy right now. So there could be two doors opening at once. We're looking at this in wealth. So that's a good problem to have, folks. And your biggest challenge this month might simply be how to juggle your time and energy. Makes a lot of sense now, doesn't it? That the Wheel of Fortune was reversed. She's looking at the past expenditures of time and energy and thinking, how can I do better? And it also makes a lot of sense that when I'm looking at you, there is a healing and confidence building energy coming through where you think I'm worth more. And when you believe it, when you see it and believe it, then the universe delivers that. And that's the big sort of thing here that I think is going on. The big challenges could also be trying to be at two places at once, 6 of Swords and 10 of Wands. You may not be able to be at two places at once, in which case maybe there's a chance to, again, partner up with someone because we're looking at wealth, or to lean on someone to help you manage these two opportunities, and also to kind of do your best job negotiating. Ultimately, you may have to choose one of the two and not do both of them. Reach for the one that feels the best. Don't be afraid to push yourself a little bit. This is a month where a stretch goal could be really advantageous. Remember what I said about timelines. There are two ways to look at this. One is that you can actually move quicker than you think. There may be something where you're a little worried. Can I make it happen? Will I make this? Can I get this deadline finished? And this card is saying, yeah, it's already finished up here because this is the headspace. It's just about getting it out. So it's releasing it, birthing it, because we have 2 babies and you're good to go. So for some of you, it's just saying, now is the time, let go. If there's something where you need a little bit more time or support, ask for it. But I do get a sort of immediacy on this, and that you have more ability to make things happen than you might anticipate. So I'm going to leave it at that. Let's focus on 3 different aspects of, work and career and life that you might be in. So for those of you that might be presently working, those that are students or restarting their career, and those that are retired. If you're presently working, the main thing that I'm looking at is this. There should be the feeling that there is a next step in the journey. Expansion, movement, you know where you're headed. If you don't, it's time to have a discussion. If you feel stuck, there's a chance to move up or move out beyond where you're at. So it's all about expansion. And if you're being asked to be sort of been put back in the box, this isn't the time for that. The star and the world basically are pushing you to go higher. And it could simply be an expansion in finances, because this is where you're at and this is really the potential, and we need to find a way to kind of like bring that into the mix as well. So improvement in finances, and then also the ability to ascend. And if you feel like the environment isn't where it's at, then it's time to move on. And that's the main message here. There's a lot of entrepreneurial energy with the Queen of Wands, and there's a lot of success energy in this whole spread, but it depends on your own confidence and your own ability to take that next step. For those of you that are thinking of booting or rebooting your career, this is definitely the best month for that. So for students, you might have 2 paths that are equally calling to you. For those of you that are entering the career after a child, or are thinking of doing something different, don't sell yourself short. There's at least 1 or 2 options on the plate. So really explore all opportunities. And also some of you might be taking some time off to start a family too. We'll be looking at that more when we look at relationships. But no matter how you look at it, for those that are in the Genesis stage, having 2 child cards is really auspicious. Moving or traveling could be a part of opening up these doors or these opportunities. So be willing to look beyond where you're at. There might be something across the border. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh yeah, for those of you that are retired, the immediate thing here in the near future is travel. For some of you, there's this feeling of there has to be something more. Well, there is. There's a teaching and mentoring energy here. There's also this understanding that time is the most valuable resource. So anything you do right now should make you feel that sense of joy and excitement and vigor that you felt when you were younger. So it's really just you tuning in and thinking, with the time that I have, what do I want to do? How can I really make a splash? Maybe it's giving back to the next generation. Or for some of you, maybe this is just doing things that bring a sense of joy and it gives you that sense of being young again. And either way, good for you. We're going to move on now to love and relationships. This is basically all levels of relationship when we're looking at the Oracle card, then we'll delve deeper. All right, so very interesting this month. For some of you, there is a person that's showing up, and it doesn't have to just be your partner. It could be a friend, a family member, or someone that you're working with, but there is some shadow energy coming through, and they're basically helping you see something that you need to resolve. Maybe they're showing a part of themselves so that you can also move beyond this. And whenever shadow energy comes through, there's an invitation to lead with love and lead with light. We don't want to meet shadow with shadow. We want to show up and say, first of all, is there something wrong? And I can see, you can see the potential. You're trying to be there to lift up, but invariably, sometimes the person doesn't want to receive it, and that's okay. This isn't a month where you need to lean into conflict at all. It's a chance for you to go in a different direction if you have to. Let's go a little deeper. We'll see where the shadow energy might be coming from, but I'm going to look at 3 different areas of relationships. So those of you that are in love, looking for love, or happily single. If you're currently in a relationship, it's easy for me to see where some of the shadow energy comes from, and it's from childhood. And like energy attracts like energy. So if both of you may have come from experiences where there wasn't a lot of support, or there might have been just some stuff that you were dealing with, and it's coming out of the woodwork now. And if it's a partnership that's meant to last, and I do think based on these cards it can, then you just have to bring that into the light and support one another. And you don't have to do all the work. You just have to sort of say, I'm here, let's figure this out. What can we do? Have a heart to heart. And again, you don't have to do all the work. That's one of the main differences between this and the traditional 5 of Wands, which is so refreshing. So this 5 of Wands is just about being there for each other. There's a deep soul connection in a lot of the existing relationships. The 6 of Swords and the Star, they're both past life energies. So I feel like the bond is strong. Stressful situations could be health and finances. That's the 5 of Pentacles. And you have 2 financial cards here coming through. This is a month where if you stick it out, if you find a way to communicate and to really be there for each other, then it's going to go in a really great path. It's expansion. But it has to be about moving up and moving beyond some of those things from the past. So bring it into the light, have a conversation. We're not seeing a lot of swords here, only the 6 of Swords, and I'd like to see more discussion, more discourse. So it'd be great if there was like a Page of Swords coming through, or a King or Queen. So you might have to be the initiator because I'm not seeing it. The only other energy coming through is a kind of stubborn one. So this could be you and or your partner. And so we need to break down some of that. And both parties think they're right. So that's the only other thing here. There needs to be some support, and maybe a third party is involved here, where it's therapy or a friend or someone else that can provide the outside perspective. Okay, I think things can be managed, but it's too much to do on your own for those of you in a challenging situation. If everything's good, could be a new job, could be a new home, could be both. Oftentimes that comes in tandem. There could also be 1 or 2 children coming through, and of course that can create some new things here too. And both of you might also be looking at doing new things. There's a lot of newness and a lot of movement. So communication's missing from this spread, and it needs to be a part of it. All right, if you're looking for love this month, yes. Yes, and we're looking at past life and rebirth. And I got a fire sign coming through for you. It's unexpected, possibly inconvenient in the timing, but it could be a lot of fun based on what I'm seeing with this. I think that taking care of your health is going to be really important, and firming up your finances are also going to be really important. So make sure that that's underway. There's also a lot of commitments. So a new love could be difficult to manage right now. So make sure that you're freeing up your resources a bit. If you're single and happy, it's better because right now you can focus on travel and personal expansion, because that's travel, that's travel, that's travel. It's a great time to go out and see the world. It's a great time to sort of finish things that you've always wanted to finish. And I think that if there's something that you are curious about or never have had a chance to do, change up the routine a little bit. because this card invariably does strike me as kind of bored. And with all these travel cards, I think now's a great time to see what the world has to offer. That's the biggest energy that's coming through. Okay, now let's move on to destiny. And what a beautiful message we have here. I make way for miracles. What do we have there? An open door. What do you have this month? The key. And this is really so important in manifestation, to believe that things can work out, to sort of really just trust that the universe does have your back. Even if in the past it did not, or it felt like it didn't, because it always does. This is a chance for you to just change the program. We talked a little bit about this on the weekend collective that I just did. So this is a chance for you to reprogram your thoughts and think, I'm ready to receive, I'm ready to recognize, because the truth of the matter is there could have been opportunities knocking, but because of either a lack of interest, a lack of focus, or because you were closed-minded, you might have missed it. It's opening up now, folks. That's what I saw in the meditation. That's what's coming through here. Make some room for things to get better. And even if it hasn't come through and you're still working with doubt, say, I'm ready now for the upgrade. I'm ready to receive it. I'm ready to see it. And I'm ready to take that step. All right. Let's now explore a little bit deeper the energy around sun, rising, and moon, and see what messages are coming through in each of those categories. Sun, rising, and moon. Finally, we got some swords energy, which is good. All right. So sun sign messages. We have the King of Swords in reverse. One of the most active, communicative cards one could get. I think the challenge here is in getting out what's up here. And for some of you, it might be coming through so quickly that it's sort of like, how do I find the words? So I'm getting almost that block. And what Spirit's telling me is keep it simple. We don't have to use big words to make a big impact. In fact, when you look at advertising, marketing, or anything that's catchy, it's catchy because it's easy to remember. So use words and take actions that are clear and concise and memorable. And this is what's going to make a difference this month. Sometimes that's the biggest splash there. Don't be afraid to say no. This is one of the firmest cards when it comes to constructive criticism that you can get. The only thing, we're going to repeat this for the King and the Queen of Swords because I got both, is to be mindful of your timing. You want to pick your moment well with the King and the Queen of Swords in reverse so that your context is understood. And you want to read the room and even ask, is this a good time to talk? That simple question can take this card and pull it in the upright position. So don't overthink what it is that you want to say. Don't worry so much about the articulation. Focus more on empathy, reading the room, and checking assumptions. And saying, hey, did we talk about this? Or did you understand that? And also, is now a good time to talk? All of those inquisitive sort of remarks are going to help you be set up for success. And for those of you, you might actually have an opportunity this month to be in a speaking platform, or you might have a speaking opportunity. Trust in your ability. You've got what it takes, okay? Let's move on from sun to rising. We got the Queen of Swords. It's a lot of the same energy here, but she has a slightly more introspective look in this particular deck. So one of the things that you can talk about is your story, your perspective. You can also ask people to talk about theirs and listen. So one thing that I didn't talk about with the King of Swords, and it's coming through loud and clear on this one, is hold space. Isn't it nice to be heard? Isn't it nice when you're with a friend or a family member that isn't trying to talk over you, isn't immediately commenting on everything that's been said, and they're just holding space and they're actively listening? It feels really safe, right? You can make amazing strides this month with your listening skills, and that's what this particular card is communicating for the rising and ascendant messages. All right, moving now on to moon sign messages. We have the Eight of Wands. This particular Eight of Wands is very much direction oriented. It's kind of migratory. So we see these birds going in one direction, possibly making that journey during the winter months. But the way that we can interpret this that's slightly different from the traditional Eight of Wands is don't get lost in the shuffle, and don't simply move because everyone else is moving. Move because it feels like it's the right direction for you. Don't lose path or don't lose track of your path and your goal simply because of a group energy. And there is group energy with the Eight of Wands. Each one of the batons that we see in the traditional card is being thrown into the sky. Each one of these birds is individual, even though they're part of a flock. And so same sort of energy as we got here. Are you leading that sort of group, or are you following? And you may need to sort of pivot in or out of a group and say, you know what, I have to go in this direction at this time. There's a lot going on right now, so the other thing here is just to keep up the pace and keep up the momentum, and as long as you do that, you're in for a great month ahead. Let's go ahead now and move on to the final question. This is your chance to basically look at everything that we've talked about today and see if there's one more thing that you need some clarity on. So in this moment, I'd like you just to hold that question in your heart. Let me shuffle the cards and let's see what the universe has to say. We have the Four of Swords, one more card of movement. It is in the reverse state. This is a representation of healing. We're going to take a look at the traditional illustration in just a moment, but let's just look at this one first. So we have these two birds communicating, focusing on what's being said and heard. So I do think communication and listening are coming through one more time. The Four of Swords is a card of rest, but when reversed, it can represent unrest or a lack of time to meditate, to integrate, to take care of yourself. For some of you, you may be burning the candle at both ends. And when that happens, you don't have a chance to heal. So I'm going to pull up the traditional card here and the one that comes before it because there is a connection. So here's your Four of Swords, and we see a sepulcher or a coffin basically, and this is putting something to rest. And there's always a fourth sword right underneath. The three above is actually connected with the Three of Swords. So you're able to put that to rest and regain this sort of vitality, new ideas. You can take sort of a new path in your life. But right now, if you ask me a yes or no, I would say not yet, because the Four of Swords can show that you haven't had enough time to sleep on it, to think about it, that you haven't had enough time to release something from the past, or that you're going to commit to something that's going to pull you in so many directions that you're feeling fatigued. Take a little bit more time, take a day or two more, do a little research, rest and sleep on it if you can. And really focus on what it is that you might be holding on to. Talk to other people, listen, take special care of yourself. Time has a way of healing everything, as we see with this, but you have to take the time or make the time. And when the Four of Swords is reversed, sometimes that time isn't automatically allocated. And so you might have to raise your hand and say, I need a day, I need a moment. And people typically, especially if they love you and understand what you're going through at any given moment, they're going to give you that time, but you have to ask. All right, everybody, that brings this reading to a close. And thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you. If you like this and you're brand new, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. We're going to be doing some extra readings this month and next month, so I don't want you to miss out. Click the thumbs up. You can only do it once, but it also lets me know that this is a video that matters, and it helps other people find it here on YouTube. And if you're wanting to make sure that you don't miss out on anything, hit that bell icon and select all. You can give me a follow on social media to ensure that you also get news and updates elsewhere, just in case you're not logged into YouTube. A quick reminder, I don't offer private readings, so if anyone ever tries to do that and asks for money or something in a direct message, you know it's not me. To make sure that you have the right links, you can always go to my website or here on YouTube to my main channel page. And that's it for today. If you want to give back, you can do that through a super sticker, super chat, or by hitting the thanks button on any of my posts. You can also become a member, and this allows me to continue to do videos just like this. Thank you so much, everybody, for making some time today out of your schedule, taking some time, I should say. I know you have a lot of choices here on YouTube. It's been my honor to be a part of your day today. I hope to see you again here on my channel. I do daily card reads. I do monthly videos every Monday, Thursday, and Friday, unless I otherwise note on my community tab. And I'm also here every Sunday for a live stream. So please check out my schedule, check out what I'm doing here. And until I see you again, I'm wishing you all the best. Take care.